Evening, everybody. We are live on Sunday evening, 8th of January 2023, our first live of 2023, which will be awesome. Got the nice warm fire in the background, and Bronte, my mum's dog, who is, she's a little tired girl. She's, how old is she now? She's 13 years old, I think, something like that. And yeah, we're here today to answer your questions. Normally we do this on Instagram, and today we're trying it out on YouTube, mainly because we want to get the activity back on YouTube again, ready for the launch of our new series of videos. Before that, we've got the remaining episodes of Dan's T4 series, which will be awesome. But yes, we just need to get things ramped up, ready for the T5 build, which is going pretty well, to be honest. So first of all, going live on YouTube is new for me, different for me. I'm gonna turn on live chat. I'm gonna see how things are going, and if you're watching this and you can put a comment down in below, then please do. Already we've got Motivate saying hi guys, happy new year. Happy new year to you, happy new year to everybody. We currently have 20 people live, which is awesome. So if you are watching and you haven't commented, leave just a little hi or a happy new year down in the comments. We've got Jeff Cook, who's just said happy new year. Good evening, how are we doing? So yeah, a little bit of a, I'm going to call it a Ponzi background today. The reason I have the fire on is not only because we've got dry laundry and it's a bit too wet, but because I'm drying out parts that I've cleaned for the T5. So those T5 owners might recognize the glove box. Over the weekend, I have been scrubbing and jet washing and steam cleaning. I've just discovered steam cleaning, which is my new favorite thing. Which is all good, and I've just been steam cleaning everything. You may have seen our stories on social media, on Instagram and Facebook, that we are gutting this T5 at the moment, gutting this T5. But before we move with that any further, I've got Motivate. He says, question time again. Oh gosh, right, I've got all the comments up here. Again, I'm new to using the YouTube live again, so do excuse me for a minute. We've got Caravan and Camping saying happy new year, good evening. Mark Squire says hi Leigh. Dan, or is that Dan, happy new year. Transit Custom Campervan Conversions, hey, good to see you Leigh, happy 2023. Happy 2023, the year of the van. Good evening, my guy. Motivate says, question time again. I have a big one that you helped with. It didn't get resolved, unfortunately. Watch this space. Well, we're here to answer your questions. And again, if you're watching, allegedly, according to my screen, we've got 26 people live. So good evening and happy new year to everybody. If you're one of those 26, leave a little wave down below in the comments, or a happy new year, or who you are and where you're from, and also what van you've got. This is one thing we do on Instagram, and again, we'll move it into YouTube. Basically, your usernames are one thing, and I've got to know people on social media by their usernames and their vans, but I don't know everybody's real names. So what we'll do is get everybody's real name. So if you're here and you can comment, again, I've got to turn on my live chat. Come on, there we go. If you're here, you're watching, and you can comment, leave a little comment. So we've got everybody's usernames or avatar names on YouTube. I'd like to see your real name, where you're from, and the vehicle you drive or campervan you drive. In fact, first one in, we've got Reno Datillo, yo, from Southern California, 1991 Westy, Reno Datillo. Nice to meet you, my guy. Michael Littler, Michael from Wigan, VWT4 van. Good evening. James has given us a wave. Darren Burton, happy new year from Nottingham, from Notts. Daz Vivaro. Did we speak recently on the phone, Darren? I can't quite remember. Reno Datillo, good job. Am I saying that right? Datillo? You'll have to leave a comment down below. It seems weird, this whole YouTube thing. the comments appear and then they disappear again. So again, bear with me. I'm getting used to this. Dan has said, Dan, Transit Custom, currently converting. Reno Tio says, yeah, good enough. Good stuff, my man. Thanks so much. Transit Custom camper van conversion says, Dave, Transit Custom in Cheshire. From Cheshire, and he comes all the way to our Cams and Coffee meets. What a dude. Mark Squire says, Mark from Basingstoke, driving a 2012 T5.1. Lee Packer. Lee, same spelling as me. Good job, my man. Lee Sussex T5. I'm also now a Lee from Sussex with a T5. Good stuff. Motivate. He's got his first question. He says, so I had a leak on my passenger door and I had this rubber seal attached to make the door sound like a Golf. You suggested it may be pushing the door. Maybe the door has been pushed out slightly. Okay, if that's the case, what have you done to solve it, my man? And or what have you done to try and solve it? And has anything else worked? Reno Tio says, at least you're not calling me Rhino. Yeah, Rhino's got an H in it. Paul Socker says, hi Lee, Happy New Year to you. Jeff Cook says, he's got a 73 automatic bus in Houston, new-ish owner. Should I pay out for the original seats or are there options, alternatives that are commonly used? Jeff, we've currently got a late bay in our workshop, and it had some aftermarket seats from a British Rover or something similar. We've taken those seats out and we're actually installing some T25, or in your case, Vanagon seats in the front. Late bays or late bays use similar runner and seat style as a Vanagon. So what we've done, we've ordered brand new replica or replicated seat runners from Butty's Bits online. Fortunately, Butty's Bits, if you ever heard from him, his workshop's actually only about 5 minutes from mine. So, and we've got a good friendship and relationship with Butty. Anyway, we bought the Butty's Bits seat runners. And if you've got any questions regarding your seats or you want the parts shipped over, let me know. We've welded in those seat runners into this late bay, and we found a really good pair of Vanagon seats to go in the front of a bay. So they're original VW. They're not original to the bay, but the reason they work in a bay is because the seat bases are dead shallow, and that's what happens when you fit an aftermarket seat to something like a bay window bus or a Vanagon T25. It raises the seat up so high, your thighs are rubbing on the steering wheel, and your feet are further away from the pedal. So, yeah, they're the advantages and disadvantages, and the options you've got for running a different seat in a Vanagon, or in a late bay. My apologies. So, Motivate. You removed the rubber seal. Did that solve it, or is it still leaking? Dodge Ames says, Dodger from Shoreham by Sea, T6 own conversion with the help from your channel. Congratulations, my man. Oh, Motivate says, nothing changed. Oh, my name is Gogi. I'm the guy who mocked you a little back with the insulation. Yeah, I know, I still can't say insulation properly. Okay, maybe your door might need adjusting, or if you're not too far away, maybe you could bring it down and we can take a look, or maybe take it to a body shop to see if they can maybe adjust your door or see where the problem is. Paul Socket says, currently converting a T6, would appreciate any advice about whether to go for underslung LPG gas and or water. It totally depends, Paul, on what you use in the van for and how much you value space inside the van. Now, I know people are either moving away from LPG or using alternatives to LPG or keeping LPG, but tiny little, almost like 500 millimeter bottles. They work really well because they're easy to swap out. They're easily available. You can go through the Channel Tunnel with them when you travel, or through tunnels like the Dartford Crossing, things like that. We have installed both for different applications. So for a van who wanted to be not necessarily off-grid but have lots of water capacity, there are companies such as, let me think of the names, CAC Tanks, C-A-K, CAC Tanks, and they make specially molded tanks to fit underneath the likes of T5s, T6s, in fact, most vans. Water bottles inside the van, have a look at Clear Cut Conversions in the UK. They have lots of different shape and size bottles to fit in any interior space. The ones we favour, they're long, thin and short, and they actually hold 12 litres, and they really slot nicely into a 400mm depth cupboard. So that's a really good option for you as well. In terms of gas, we like gas inside because you can change the bottles easier, and not everywhere has the facility to fill up an underslung LPG gas tank. All right, so I hope that helps. If there's any further questions, again, leave them down in the comments. Right, hang on, let me bring up the comments here again. Do excuse me for touching my phone whilst I'm chatting. Jeff Cook says, awesome, thanks. Abdullah Yildiz says, from Turkey, Happy New Year to you. Good evening and Happy New Year, Abdullah. Mark Squires, I'm going to be lining and insulating my van in the spring. My question is it best to install the 12-volt electrics before I do this? I'm planning on having the removable panels with hidden clips. Quite frankly, Mark, you can install your electrics at any time. We install them at different times depending on the application in a van. Things like your USB sockets, plug sockets, lighting and switches is really good to install before you put lining in. So if you know where your lights are going to go in the ceiling, for example, if you know where your USB sockets are, route your wires before you put your panels in. But saying that, if you're having removable panels, you can always get the van to a certain point with carpeted panels and ply and everything else looking really, really nice. Maybe even put the interior in dry fitted, and then you can plan your electrics. You've just got to, it's always good to start with a plan on where you're putting things, and then you can build it like a house almost. So you have first fix and second fix, then you put the walls up and the wallpaper and the, things like that. It's always good to plan your build. Do excuse me if you can hear my kids screaming in the background. They're getting ready for bed. They should be in bed already. So yes, we regularly retrofit electrics into camper vans. So say, for example, someone's having a diesel heater fitted. It's very easy, quite frankly, to run aftermarket wires once your interior and everything else is in. You just got to know how to keep them neat and tuck them behind panels and stuff like that. I hope that helps. If you need any further comments or questions or answers, leave it down below. Motivate says, lol, I think it might be due to being parked under a tree. Lots of sap and the roof is sticky as hell and lots of leaves stuck all over. I cleaned it up a little, but didn't get the bits in the gaps. Yeah, man. Dirt plays a huge part in vehicles leaking or weeping or even letting water through gaps. It's keeping that metal painted surface and the rubber seal together super clean, especially if you are parking under a tree where sap and detritus can get in quite regularly. Hope that helps. Neil Robinson's, is Dan's van finished yet? And when is the next video? Dan's van is finished. Dan's van was finished about a year ago. These videos are later than we wanted to, mainly because work. Basically, a little bit of a backstory. Last August, crikey, not even August 2021, Dan was building his van and he was filming it. And because life and business got in the way, the videos were late to air anyway. And then especially in the last 6 months, 6 to 12 months, the business has just gone crazy. In the last 12 months, we've increased our workspace by 150%. We've employed 4 new people. We've increased the size of our shop and everything else that goes with that, and also we've held 3 campers and coffee a year for the last 2 years as well. So yeah, everything's gone a bit haywire. However, we know how valuable YouTube is to everybody, and I'm dedicated to having that back for everybody. So YouTube is taking a priority this year. So all of Dan's videos are pretty much finished. Dan is coming in next week after, for a final episode on his van and a bit of feedback. Here's my dog. He's going to come in and say hello. Are you going to come and say hello, dude? This is Ronnie. You all right, bud? He's our Bulgarian rescue dog. He's obviously enjoying me being sat down in the front room downstairs. Are you going to let me crack on? So yeah, Dan's van is done. He's been driving it. He's been traveling in it. He's been doing everything he needs. But yeah, it'll be nice to have him in a couple of weeks so he can get a bit of feedback on how it is and if he thinks he'd change anything. So Dan's van's videos are incoming for sure. Right, who's next? Motivate says, I think I may have some rain drainage holes blocked, causing the leak in the passenger door pod bit. What do you think? I'm currently in Hamburg, Germany. I have a T6. Yes, so believe it or not, check him out. He's going to take a seat right here. Bless him, look. It's all right, bud. So doors in general, vehicle doors in general, are designed to leak. Window seals around sliding windows aren't 100% guaranteed in any car. So there is drainage holes in the bottom of every passenger door, and they're meant to drip through the door seals, run through the door skin, which is why the inside of doors are waxed, and which is why there's always a plastic membrane between the inside of the door and the actual door card itself. And then they're meant to drain out the bottom. So have a check of those drain holes in the bottom. Even if it is a 2016 van, again, you say you've been parking under a tree, those drain holes might be blocked. And so maybe just get in there with, I don't know, a cocktail stick or an airline and blow the holes out. You might find that you've unplugged something, debris, detritus, whatever it might be, and you just need to unblock those. In fact, we had a T4 in very recently who had exactly the same thing. So it's worth just giving it a clear out. Mark Squire says, thanks Leigh, it's a combi van, so I'll be putting in a 40 winks bed at some point too. Currently using an IKEA bed on pallet blocks so it fits over the arches. Nice job. The first camper I built, no, Bully, my van, the first iteration of that was completely a homemade situation. We had the rear caravel seat, we'd fold that down, we did a homemade platform in the back, and then we had a big flap that folded over it, made a big double bed, and the buddy seat was actually the seat base from a VW Beetle, an old school VW Beetle, and that worked really, really well for a time. Paul Socket says, thanks Leigh, space is a priority, so we've got some key decisions to make. Alex Renauf, can you double check that I've that I've said that correctly? Sorry, I've lost something. He has said, any ideas on how to reduce the noise of the drips inside the doors when raining? What vehicle have you got, my man? And are the drips actually really, really annoying? So we've got 18 of you still here, 18 of you watching. If you haven't made a comment yet, please do just give a wave or a smiley face or a happy new year or an emoji or whatever it might be. It helps me, it helps you, the engagement goes up. But I just want to say again, it's really good to be back. We've had a bit of break over Christmas. If you follow me or us on social media, you see that we went away for Christmas. And yeah, we do that. We weren't necessarily away in a camper van, but as a family, we enjoy going out walking and just, quite frankly, getting the fuck out of Dodge. You know, home life, being in the same town, work life, everything else. If you can just get away for a couple of days and just go and see something new, go and do it. And so that's what we do as much as we can. We generally just try and get away for a couple of days. We rented like a static home in this park in Wales for 3 nights through Airbnb, and it was wonderful. We got absolutely drenched whilst out walking over Snowdonian mountains, but we wouldn't have had it any other way. It was wonderful. So we have another question. So Alex has said again, or Alex has replied, he says, it's Type 25, very noisy when trying to sleep. Now, drips commonly occur in a Type 25 through the rear vents. The rear air intake vents on either an air-cooled or a water-cooled, the plastic ones if they're water-cooled, you know what I mean. There's technicalities and ages and plastic vents, but you know what I mean. So the plastic vented or metal vented ones, water actually drips down those cavities. And if you were to watch those panels during rain, you can see how the drips work their way down and then into the van. And there's a way to stop it, and that is actually zipping a cable tie to one of the fins so the drips track down the vents, then out along a cable tie and then out onto the floor. So there is a cure for that, and it is as simple as just like a black cable tie or zip tie. In the doors themselves, if you've got dripping, audible dripping inside the doors, I would suggest looking at someone like Heritage Parts Centre for the replacement door seals to stop that much water coming through. Although, like I said earlier, they are designed to leak. They're not designed to leak and drip, physically drip. So yeah, let me know how that goes, or if you need any further advice, give us a shout, my man. James, he says, I have a T5 that is much like the one you have just started. I bet it's not. Oh, here he says, yeah. I thought mine was bad until I saw yours. I'm so looking forward to following that build for info ideas. Mate, I have worked on hundreds of T5s, and I've worked on some filthy ex-builder vans T5s. And I've never worked on a van as filthy as the one I've just bought. It was physically disgusting. I've still got some bits here that I haven't cleaned, but the fact that I needed to use oven cleaner on the plastics to get them back to their original colour today, honestly, I've spent hours just cleaning the plastic parts from the dash alone today and yesterday, and yeah, absolutely fucking stinking all the way through. Yeah, it's going to be a mission. However, it's really, really clean, and we've managed to secure some help for the build from some fantastic companies. So we're going to be featuring some really awesome products for some really awesome companies, especially those who have agreed to take on this project with us. So lots of things to come for the VWT5. In fact, being the live, are we going to discuss this guy with you? Okay, right. So if you were to build your dream T5 long wheelbase, how would you do it? That's got to sleep 4 people, 2 kids and 2 adults, and a dog. And then and if I get enough answers down below of how you'd build your dream T5, I'll tell you how I'm going to build mine. All right. So more questions. Right, Alex is. Oh, hang on. We've got. Who have we got here? Mark Squires has also said, also, what tape do you use to cover the small holes in the metalwork before lining? Generally, we don't cover the small holes because the carpet lining does a good enough job. And I believe ventilation, as much ventilation through the metalwork and through the installation as through the metalwork and through all the insulation is very, very important. So generally, we don't cover up the small holes. The big holes, we'll either use aluminium tape or there is, I don't know if they're still doing it. Dodo Mat did have a product that was like lining tape but thicker. It was an aluminium sheet that you cut up into shapes and you could line over the bigger spaces. I'll have to double check tomorrow, see if they're still selling that stuff. So, but yeah, that's what we use generally, if we do. Motivate, he says, you said the front doors are meant for drainage, which this in mind, would you suggest a soundproofing and insulation, the front doors, or just sound deadening? So when it comes to sound deadening, the front doors, where you can get away with it, bearing in mind you've got door mechanisms, winding mechanisms and things like that. And again, depending on the vehicle, on a T5, T6, we remove that inner door skin, which has got all the winding mechanism on, and then I'd line the doors with the 2mm sound deadening and then a van liner such as the new 5mm, so the Van Liner Pro 5mm SE, which is the new product that Dodomat have just brought out and the new product we are now selling on our website. A little bit of a plug, eh? Paul Wilson has said, hey Leigh, just bought a 2017 T6, got delivered yesterday. Looks like I have a busy 6 months. I've given myself until June to turn him into something I can sleep in. Keep up the tutorials. I need all the help. Well, with this new series, we may be able to help you, my man. Nice to meet you, by the way. Tony Hemans. I'm biased. I have done a long wheelbase shuttle. Nice one. Claire Dyer says, recommendations for driveway awnings, please. Also, spot rust on edges. How worried should we be on a 2012 T4? Driveway awnings, again, depending on the application, people ask me questions for the best this and the best that and whatever. It really depends. So I'm going to take these off for a second. It really depends on what you're using your van for. Are you using your driveway awning to live in whilst you're camped up? Are you using your driveway awning just as a porta potty? Are you using your driveway awning for extra bedrooms for your kids? Or are you using your driveway awning literally just for a shelter? In terms of speed to put them up, I really like air beam ones. The last one we used, I borrowed from a friend of mine, and that was just a hooped air beam type one. That was really, really convenient. We've also had a huge awning with like an annex on the side for another bedroom, which was really, really handy last year before we owned our pop top. So take into account how big they are when they pack up your awning and how much space you've got in the van when you're traveling. And you might want to consider a roof rack or a bike rack or something to mount that awning on. So that's really good to consider. Or if you're leaving it in the van, how much floor space it will take up. And also take into consideration how big it will be when it's in the bag, when it's soaking wet. When we were out in Austria last year in the summer with our Type 25, we had biblical rain. Biblical rain to the point where I was trying for 4 hours to keep our awning waterproof, and then I threw in the towel with it because it was an old awning anyway. And then when I put it down, I just went, I'm binning this. I'm not even taking it with us. The awning was probably 10 years old at this point, and it was like a wet towel by the time I put it in the bag. And I just dumped it in the skip on the way out of the campsite, and I never saw it again, and I never want to. So we're considering options for our next awning. But in terms of driveway, lots of different options. I can't even tell you the right brand again because it might be a different application for the one you're after. Okay, lots and lots of comments. This is wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody, for commenting. It's lovely to see you. Claire Dyer, hello. Recommendation. Oh, it was Claire Dyer. Sorry. Oh, and she's also asked about spot rust on the edges. How worried should we be in a 2012 T4? The best thing you can do for your van is keep it washed, keep it clean, keep it waxed, keep it polished. Lots of people forget. They clean their car or have their car cleaned, but people forget to wax, protect their camper van, and especially around the edges. If you are starting to get rust creep through, initially you can prep it, Q-rust it, the rust converter type liquid, and then paint it over the top of that. You can make a feature of it if you want to, but just keep an eye on it. And if you are that concerned, you can take it to a professional body shop and they can get all the rust bits sorted out for you. But don't be worried just yet, but keep an eye on it and keep the van, even if you pay a professional valeter twice a year, once before the camping season and once after the camping season before you lay it up for Christmas, to do a proper job of your valeting or protecting the vehicle and keeping it protected, or even use like a ceramic coating just to protect it for the 6 months you're using it, and then for the 6 months you might not be using it. But yeah, protect your paintwork and your bodywork as much as possible. Maybe even consider wax oiling the underneath of the vehicle. Lots of things you can be doing, especially in an older vehicle now, such, did you say 2012 T4 or 2012 T5? Because surely that must be a T5. Yes, or am I going mad? Anyway. Yeah, 2002 T4. I thought so, she's corrected herself. Yes, there are lots of things you can do. Luke Caro, hi from Spain, Leigh. I'm a big fan of yours and your company. Thank you very much. When will you send me some stickers for my T6? Do you know what? We can send you stickers. If you email us at info@coomvalleycampers.co.uk or go through the contact page on our website with your address, I'm very happy to send you stickers. In fact, if everybody watching this doesn't have a sticker, email us, say, I've just watched Leigh on YouTube live, put today's date, and everybody who's watched the live from today's date is going to get a sticker if you want one. All right? My treat. Where are we here? Right, looking through the comments too, excuse me. Simon Massey, good evening. He says, evening, Leigh. I hope you're good. Thanks for everything on your channel. Question, C-pillar seatbelt mounts for a combi. Strengthening plate within the pillar or rivet plate on outside of pillar? Within the pillar, my man. And it's very easy, actually. We've done it quite a few times now. So there's people who sell combi seats on eBay. Basically, these are companies that get in vehicles of a high spec, like a shuttle or a combi, and then they strip all the seats out and convert them into disability access vehicles or taxis or whatever. So there's lots of companies out there selling brand new seats from combis and shuttles, and they're also selling the fitting kits, which include seat belts, the seatbelt plates, and the fitting brackets for the seats and the floor and everything else. When it comes to sitting a seatbelt bracket, you need to drill a hole at the correct height for the seatbelt shoulder bracket or the shoulder mount. You then drop a wire, much like a welding wire. Welding wire is perfect. Down that hole, and then you retrieve that metal plate through the seatbelt access point or the seatbelt mounting point, bring it up, and then that's how you would bring it within that C-pillar. Mark it before you do it so you know where to drill your holes and everything else, but that, I would say, always behind that metalwork and then rivet to behind that metalwork. So it's how VW do it, and it's how you use the inside structure of that C-pillar to help with the strength of that seatbelt mounting point. Here we go. Luke has come back, said, I decided to carpet line the interior of my van. This is not something you see in Spain a lot, and people who see it are amazed. Oh, well done, my man. That's really, really good. Mark Squires says, another question. Do you need holes in the rear panels to allow air to escape when closing the tailgate? Yes and no. Originally from factory, there are air holes in the back of a T5 to allow the vacuumed air to push out. They're like one-way valves almost. And yes, it's a good idea to keep the original holes in those panels so the air, even if you carpet them, the air escapes. There's enough air pressure or enough area in that panel once carpeted for the air to escape through that and leave out the holes. However, we don't do that. We found there's no need. There is enough air movement within a van. The only time, sorry, I've got to stretch my legs out. Ugh. The only time we have had a problem with shutting a tailgate on a T5 or T6 is when we made effectively a waterproof compartment in the back of a T6. It was an early van build we did. And the whole back of the van was effectively a mountain bike storage area. We wrapped and painted it. It was completely sealed, completely waterproof. And the only area that it had coming through was a shower point, so he could rinse down his bike before he put it in. And we couldn't shut the boot because we'd made this effectively airtight box just within the tailgate. And then we had, because it was roofed as well, we then put the air vents in the top. But that's the only time we've ever had trouble. We've only had trouble closing tailgates. That's the only time we've had trouble closing tailgates. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted then because I had a funny comment from Alex. Bear with us. Where are we? Mark Squire says, another question. Oh no, that was Mark, just done that. Maximus and Co. says, just tuned in, and I must say, great work from Zial, as I've been attempting to set up my direct 4x4 awning. Okay, my man. Well, thank you so much for getting in touch. So I've been attempting to set up my direct 4x4 awning. Claire Dyer says 2002, thank you. Stu MCP, about to order some soundproofing and insulation for my T3 high top. How much additional material do I need for the roof area? Is it a full length high top, Stu? I would suggest, so the van's about 3.5 meters long. I would suggest one extra roll of Van Liner Pro. And when you install it on the inside of the roof of the high top, make sure that it's super clean, sanded, and free of dirt. And I'd also suggest assisting the sticking up of that sound deadening with just a little sprinkle of some high temp adhesive. All right. Simon Massey's come back and said, great, thanks very much. Just after the C-pillar and underside the brackets now. Sorry, just after the C-pillar and underside brackets now. Then I'm ready to go. I'll post pictures when complete. Nice one, Simon. Thank you very much. Alex, that's why I laughed. Alex says, pet the dog's bum. This is Bronte just here. So there you go. Pet the dog's bum. She absolutely loves the fireplace. Maximus has come back and said, from ZAI. No, Maximus, I'm Coast. Don't apologise. I just didn't quite get that. So explain a bit further. You've just tuned in. I must say, great work from ZAI, as I've been attempting to set up my direct 4x4 awning. Is that another company, ZAI? Oh, the AI. Hang on. Great work from the AI, as I've been attempting to set up my direct 4x4 awning. Go into that a bit further, my man. because I want to know more about it. Are you talking about me or are you talking about somebody else? Motivates. There's a plan to drive back over to UK around springtime and plan to visit you guys and gift you some boomerangs that I handmade. Oh, that's awesome. A little side hustle. Let me know if you're left or right-handed. Give me stickers then. Oh, that's very kind of you. I am right-handed personally. My wife is left-handed. Thank you very much. Oh, has everybody noticed my beloved High Up Transporters t-shirt? I think you'll like the back even more because it's a rad pattern. You see that pattern on the back? If I sit square on it. Super cool off-road wheelie. So if you don't follow High Up Transporters on Instagram, do so because they are rad people. So we are 35 minutes in, peeps. This is going really, really well. And now I can't find my comments. Where are you? There we go. Mark Squire says, do you sell a complete carpet sound deadening and insulation package? No, we don't. Mainly because it can change between vehicles. It is the aim, eventually, to do an entire package of floor, carpet, ply panels, sound deadening carpet in one bundle and you can just buy it and go. However, the website is set up that you might just want to buy carpet as a bundle. So we've set that up for you. You might just want to buy sound deadening as a bundle and that's set up for you as well. However, you can buy everything from the website as well. All right. Hope that helps. Hang on. Did I just show my butt crack online? Motivate says, butt crack, that's on the internet now. Did I need to pull my boxes up a little bit? Oh well, at least you got to see the t-shirt, eh? Maybe I should put that as the thumbnail to this video. Maximus and Co. Right, they've explained a bit further. Oh, sorry, before that, Paul Wilson says, hi Lee, best make of pop top, please. A T6, is that short wheelbase? T6 short wheelbase. Best make of pop top. Holy crap. I'm going to say it again, and I know this seems like a generic answer of mine. It depends what you want from your pop top. Do you want the cheapest? Do you want the highest? Do you want the one with the most features? Do you want one that's the slimmest on your roof? There are so many different options out there. However, there are a couple of names that I would give out. Sorry, I've got to stop reading comments whilst I'm answering questions. Skyline roofs are very, very good and very, very popular. I'm associated with the guys in a way. One of my friends makes some bits for Skylines. I've never actually fitted a Skyline, however, the roofs are very good. To be fair, there's 100 different companies out there making roofs. When we come to fitting roofs for our customers, we direct people to a company called poptoproofs.co.uk. And it's only because we get lots of different calls and inquiries from lots of different types of vans and van owners. And so we push them to poptoproofs.co.uk because you can have a T6 roof, say if this is the cab, you can have a T6 roof from them that fits forward like that. You can have a T6 roof that lifts backwards like that. You can have a turret top that lifts straight up. There's so many different options on poptoproofs.co.uk. I would suggest taking a look at them. But also, before you go in and buy a roof, maybe try and get to some events this year. Spy on everybody who's got a pop top roof on their camper van and go and chat with them. Go and chat with them about, do they like the roof? Would they change anything about it? How was the customer service of the company that sold it to them? How was the customer service and the work of the company that fitted the roof for them? Because believe me, I've heard it all. Mainly since we started doing Cameras and Coffee events. And because I try and speak to as many people as I can, and I'm always asking, nice work, where did you get it done? Where did you get it done? Where did you get it done? So there's lots of companies out there when it comes to pop top roofs that will do it for $3,000 and do it in 24 hours. Awesome. I wish I could fit a roof in 24 hours. Well, they could do it in 8 hours almost. We can't offer that because we don't do roofs every day. We do custom work for all different types of vehicles. But there are companies out there that are solely there for fitting roofs. And all they do day in, day out is fit pop tops to T5s and T6s and maybe Transit Customs. So they can literally, you can drive in the morning, their team knows exactly what to do. They can have your roof in and out in a day and drive away. And it's for good money because they can get it done quickly. So, yes, go out there, go and get some feedback. All right? How's that? That was quite a long answer. Right, comments. Give me my comments back, for God's sake. Right, here we go. So, back to Maximus. So, I was given a brand new direct 4x4 awning for Christmas. Oh my God, that's awesome. And I've got a T5. Unfortunately, my mum didn't know too much about what she was ordering. So, I've ended up with a beautiful direct 4x4 awning, which didn't have any instructions or brackets to suit. Do you supply these? Right. And he says he's really meant that AI in the algorithms of YouTube pushed you my way when I have needed you most. And it's a long wheelbase pop top. Right. So, with a pop top on a long wheelbase with a aftermarket awning, what we have done for that sort of thing in the past is fit a vamoose awning rail. Now, when it comes to pop top roofs and fitting awnings, especially ones that are not particularly common, they won't necessarily have a bracket that will fit in the small space between the pop top canvas, then under the pop top lid, and then down towards the windows. So what we tend to do with those is we fit a vamoose awning rail, which bonds and mechanically fixes to the line just above the door edge. Then we fit the vamoose / Rimo brackets for awnings, which use the vamoose rail, and they then mechanically fix into the metalwork of the van. And then you've got two flat faces to put your awning onto. So Maximus, on the comments, wherever my comments have gone again, maybe send me some pictures. Go to www.kingvalleycampers.co.uk, send me some pictures of your awning, maybe the mounting system, and then maybe we can come up with a system together, all right? How's that? Tony, my man Tony, he says, quite like the move to YouTube, not as glitchy. I didn't know the Instagram stuff was glitchy, actually, my man. I think moving forward, we will do all our lives at YouTube, mainly because it'll help push our YouTube up the old algorithms again. We want to really make an impact on YouTube again, because those of you who've been following us for a while, or been watching me for a while, or listening to us for a while, I love building vans, but I kind of love helping everybody else and you guys better. If I'm building a van for one person, I can spend the entire day building a van, but I'm helping one person. If I can spend the entire day building a van and filming it, I can help 10 people, 100 people, 10,000 people, 1,000,000 people, who knows? The videos we make are quote unquote evergreen, which means they will always be applicable, right? In the cases, and I've been having this conversation with some suppliers recently, in the case of a T5, the T5 platform / T6 platform was released 20 years ago this year. And they're still being released today, which means they'll still be relevant in another 20 years, because people will still be buying 20-year-old T6.1s and converting them. So, you know, there's effectively, potentially, going to be 40, 50 years of the T5 platform and people still converting them. So the videos we make and the value we're bringing to people, and I'm taking T5s as an example, could be up on YouTube forever. So, and be applicable for at least 20 years. So we try and make the best quality stuff for you. And again, if I'm building one person's van or sitting behind a desk answering emails or doing quotes, I'm helping one person at a time. Whereas if I'm doing YouTube stuff, I'm helping more and more people at a time. I'm not into YouTube for being a YouTuber. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm into YouTube because I can provide this information for free and help other people. It just so happens, after a few years, it's now come back and the work is flowing in. But again, I didn't do it for that. I didn't do it as a marketing ploy or anything like that. I just always wanted to pay it forward because I'd learned what I know today from other people more experienced than me and the likes of forums, because YouTube wasn't a thing when I started to build camper vans. So yeah, bit of a waffle, wasn't it? I don't even know where I started. Right. Where are we? Yes, so that was off the back of Tony saying quite like the move to YouTube, not as glitchy. Stephen says, I've been watching your channel back when you did a Mark II Golf headliner repair and recover. Yes. Keep up watching for my T5. Keep up the good work. That's very good of you, my man. Yes, the Mark II Golf headliner. We've only really done a couple since, mainly because they're a nightmare to do, and because we put the video out there. People are doing it themselves, which is awesome. So, yeah, they're not easy. I've since done my Mark III Golf headliner and sold that, and that wasn't so bad. But coming up, and for those who have got T5s and T6s, the headliner, the cab headliner that came out of my T5 was rough. Like the moment I touched the fabric, it just fell off. It's disgusting. You know, it's a 19-year-old van now, and it's gross. So I will be going into how to recover a T5 headliner, if that's what you would like. Matt Coulson says, yay, stickers. What was the email again? Just Google Coombe Valley Campers email or Coombe Valley Campers on the website. It'll give you our contact details. However, it is coomvalleycampers.co.uk. info@coomvalleycampers.co.uk. Maximus says, geez, thanks so much. I'll get on this as soon as I'm done at work. You're at work, my man. Well done on a Sunday evening. Motivate, any tips on cleaning the roof full of tree sap? Yes, YouTube is the shizzle, better than Facebook and Insta. Okay, well, we continue doing them on YouTube. Elbow grease, scrubbing brush, citrus cleaner, what else do they call it? Mr. Muscle, or whatever they call it now. To clean up all the plastics on the T5, I was using oven cleaner today, believe it or not. But that's more for things like grease. But yes, maybe even have a look at specialist cleaners for things like that. But generally, it's hot water, a scrubbing brush, and some elbow grease. Right. Where are we? Motivate. Any tips on cleaning the roof? Yes, we've just done that. James, are you going to bring back the podcast? We would love to bring back the podcast. At the moment, it's just fitting it in. Our general day-to-day is incredibly busy. 8:30 till 5:30. I'm at work, spinning plates and putting out fires day in, day out. And in the evenings, I'm then on the computer most of the evening. Fridays we've now put aside just for YouTube. So our camera guy comes in on Fridays, and we just do filming on YouTube. So we haven't allocated any space for the podcast yet. However, we still have our studio. We still have all our podcasting gear. The studio is actually our eBay room at the moment. So all the stuff that we aren't going to use in the workshop is actually on our eBay page at the moment. So the studio isn't being used as such as a studio, but it's still there and it still can be used. But no, this year we are concentrating on the YouTube because our visual content makes more impact, as we found. All right, I hope that answers your question. Francis Lowe says, evening, love the videos and content. Do you have any updates on the T5 projects, and Happy New Year? Yeah, so the T5, we bought that, back end of November, and we've been, what should I say? We've been planning the build. Again, nobody came down in the comments. I asked a question earlier. If you had a T5 long wheelbase or a camper van that's long wheelbase, how would you build it? If you tell me how you'd build yours, I'll tell you how I'm going to build mine this evening. If not, you're going to have to wait for the videos. Where are we? Updates on the T5 product. Yes, so updates are, we have stripped the absolute living what's it out of it. You might have seen on our social media, we've just done a time lapse of cleaning the van. We stripped out the seats, most of the dash, which is actually sitting right next to me. That's the glove box. And there's other dash plastics next to me. I've been cleaning, replacing the front seats. We're going to be doing wheels and suspension, insulation and sound deadening, lots of stuff moving forward. But we're planning the accommodation, the seating, the interior, and the roof. If you want to leave your comments on how you build your camper van, I'll tell you how I built mine. Mark Selby says, cool information and a very helpful, informative chap, and I'm hoping you can do the alterations on my crafter soon. Yes, Mark, that is on our list, my man, for this week. I know we've been delayed, but as I've explained in this video, it is bonkers. But yes, and I found all your photos Friday last week, so you are on the cards for a response this week, Mark. Luke Harrow, he says, I installed a swivel base for double passenger seat in my T6 from Caravans. The main problem I've got is the airbag cable, which I must disconnect every time I swivel the seats. Yes, that is something you do have to do. And it's the same with airbags and pretensioners on later vans as well. It is one of the disadvantages. Fortunately, you don't always have, unless you, I can see that as being a huge disadvantage if you are swiveling your seat every day, but for the most part, people aren't swiveling their seats every day. Maximus and Co. work tomorrow. I'm not working today. Jeez. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Luke Harrow. When I reconnect it, the message of disconnected airbag appears, and I can only fix it. Oh, it was a two-part question. I'm so sorry. When I reconnect it, the message of disconnect airbag appears, and I can only fix it with the diagnosis CAN bus. Any idea on how to swivel the seats without disconnecting the cable? No, you do have to disconnect the cable. However, in between disconnecting that plug and putting it back together again, do not turn the key in the ignition. That's where the problem is. I can remove a seat or a steering wheel or anything from a T5, plug it in and put the van back together and not have an airbag fault code because I've swiveled the seat or I've unplugged and not turned the ignition on. So if you swivel the seat and then swivel it back again and plug in, without turning the key on, you shouldn't have an airbag light turn up, all right? Maximus says, I only had my T5 for just under 2 years, and most of it, which has been getting, hang on, I only had my T5 for just under 2 years, and most of which it's been getting looked after by the mechanics. I've got to spend the last 7 months working on converting, and I'm hoping to get edits up this year. Mate, I look forward to seeing your results. Rob, do you convert the VWs or other ones as well? Dude, in the workshop at the moment, we have got a Type 25, a 1954 Airstream Caravan, a Chevy G20 van, a bay window, and what else have we got in there? A Synchro. No, to answer your question, we work on anything. To me, camper vans and motorhomes, from the front seats back, they're all the same. It doesn't matter what platform you've got a van in, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. I'm not a VW snob. VWs are my life. You know, you cut me, I bleed VW. I've got my logos, I've got my tattoos, I wear the t-shirts, I have all VWs. However, we all drive different vehicles. You have a different choice of van. I will work on anybody's van. I'll work on any. We even had an inquiry for a double-decker bus last week, so and I'll be more than happy to work on that. All right. James says, mine's a short wheelbase, but I'm planning on a traditional kitchen on the right-hand side and a slide-out bed on the left. Nice job, my man. Maximus, see, now we're getting the comments now. People want to know how I'm going to build the T5. Bearing in mind we've got 7 minutes left, I need 2 more people's dream vans in the comments before I tell you about mine. James says, mine's a short wheelbase. Yeah, we've done that one. Maximus & Co. I've gone for an extra large rock and roll bed with all 3 beds working individually, giving a variety of options for sleeping. I've got an L-shaped wood resin ocean style workspace with 2 units so far. Mate, if you're on Instagram, let us know your Instagram handle because I quite fancy seeing pictures of that. Yes, Maximus, I'm getting away as far away from generic as possible. 2. Rob says, I have a Traffic 2011. What's your thoughts on these being converted? I'm converting mine at the moment and looking for some inspiration. So the Renault Traffic, the Vivaro, that platform, there's more and more parts being made for those every week, every month, every year. We do a double swivel base for them if you've got the double seat. Have a look at the likes. In fact, if you need any more information, there's interiors being made for them. The only trouble is no one does a ply panel interior for the Vivaro, and I know why, because they're a pig to ply panel neatly and nicely. When it comes to ply paneling the inside of Vivaro/Traffic, we make our own panels with the customer to make sure they all fit nicely. All right, so that's the only real problem you might have, but you can buy the ply floors through us as well. You can buy the swivel bases through us. I think we even do the roof panels as well. But generally, most camper van parts are generic. It's just the units and the walls that are, different for the most part. So Vivaro's good. We've done a few of them. Not a problem at all. Wandering Wakefords. Although that I will never be able to own one of your vans, I still love watching your films. Keep them coming. That is very, very kind of you, my man. That is very kind of you. And I hope we have given you some sort of information you've been able to use, because that's what it's all about. Right, we've got 6 minutes left, because I'm going to stop at 9 because I need me a cup of tea. Simon Massey says, my VW T5 is about to be a combi. It's fully insulated, carpeted with 12-volt system installed, but I like using it to put in my motorbike in with the backs and need the flexibility. We do camp in it, but in the awning. Mate, that's perfect. And I wish we got a T5 combi as our family wagon. We got one, my wife wanted a BMW in the end, so we've got a 3 Series Estate, which is what she's got. But I love a van, I drive a van every day, and a combi is a great thing. Motivate says, at Luke Caro, I'm not sure, but I think you can bypass the issue and not use the bracket to connect the airbag plug and instead plug them up and tuck it all under the swivel mechanism. Yeah, so under those, Motivate, most of the wiring, yes, you could potentially put in like a resistor to tell the system that, your airbag isn't missing, and you can tuck all the wiring underneath. However, some people choose to keep that airbag on in case of an accident, whatever. So, yes, there is different options. Alex says, one of the reasons I bought a Type 25 was because of watching your videos. Well, I'm glad, my man. They're not easy, but they're very good fun. And I still own mine. I've owned plenty of Type 25s. I think they're bloody brilliant. Maximus says, I've not posted anything as yet, but I'm going out to the lakes next week and I'll be going live as long as we can get signal, but I'll send you some photos when I when I email for my stickers. Nice one. Simon Massey says, thanks so much for all your help and advice, Leigh. Website and channel is the best out there. Keep up the good work. That's very kind of you, my man. As long as we're providing you some help and some valuable information and some content, that's why we do it. Love it. I love my T4 combi. It got written off last year when a nice lady tried parking her. It says B&E, but I'm going to say BMW. I'm so sorry to hear about that, Russ. Right, so I've got 3 minutes. For those of you who are still here, still watching, allegedly there's 35 of you, and so thank you very much for sticking out until the end. So, the T5 build. We're going to go slightly unconventional. We are going to put a very, very high top. I'm not going to do a rooftop. I'm going to put a high top on with a big bull nose. So it's kind of going to look like a motorhome. Now, people might think, but yeah, it's not the prettiest design of van out there, but this is going to be completely function over form. I want to make it look cool whilst doing it, but this van, this T5, is going to be a vehicle that we want to be able to rock up on site and not spend 2 hours setting up. So to that end, it's going to have a high top roof in it. So you can just rock up to site and get into bed for the kids if you want to up in the roof. In terms of getting up on site and doing no setting up, it's going to have a wind out awning that takes 30 seconds. All right, and if we choose to, we can maybe put sides on it. Yes, Gasworks, Elvis Quiff roof, and we think it might even be called Elvis. Is that you, G, on Gasworks? In terms of seating arrangement downstairs, the seats we're looking at are called Rib Neptune seats. Now, they sit behind the driver's and passenger seat, and like a regular rib seat, they fold out and meet up with the front seats that are on a swivel. And then you can make 2 individual beds in the front, one behind the driver's seat, one behind the passenger seat, or you can push them together and make a double. That is what we plan to do up front. So there might be a little bit of setup when it comes to actually making the bed, but no more than you do in any other T5 based camper van. And also what that means is, it means you can have a lounge area at the front. So if you don't want to do any setting up, you can have 4 seats all around a table, or if you've got more than 4 of you, you actually fold down one of those seats, flip around the drivers, and you can have 3 seats across the back, and then 2 individuals. So you can potentially sit 5 or 6 people within that cab area. In terms of the kitchen, we're going to have a galley style kitchen. So you'll have, from the front seats, you'll have a walkway all the way through to the back doors, kitchen on one side and bathroom on the other. We want to fit a shower and a toilet within a T5 high roof. I've got 30 seconds left. Let me know your thoughts. Yes, Mark, the new Crafter California has a bulbous roof. So I'm taking some slight design cues from that. I've been doing research into people who have built these types of vans with high roofs before, been looking at the California interiors, and what I do plan to do potentially with the team is go to the camping and caravanning show this year up at the NEC so you can get some ideas. So that'll be another video as well. Anyway, right, we are 9 o'clock. Thank you so much, everybody. Let me just have a look at the last comments. Yes, Moby Dick. Yeah, absolutely. Big whale, bullnose whale, Elvis Cliff roof. Yeah, Matt P says, great videos, Leigh. Help me with my T5. Looking forward to the new series. When's it starting? New series is starting as soon as possible. Probably February. We'll get Dan's videos done for the rest of Dan's van. Then we'll do the T5. Gaswork says, yes, it's me, bud. Good evening, my man. Motivate says, when you do another Q&A, buddy? I plan to do these every Sunday between 8 and 9 p.m. Okay? Mr. Toto 2022 says, hi, great channel. Quick question. I have a Type 25. Where would you recommend to buy some new hydraulic struts? It's the straight up pop top stutter. I need 4. SGS supply struts. So if your existing struts have a sticker on them telling them the weight and the height and the length and the extension of the struts, give them all the information. They'll basically send them to you next day, or they might have to make them specially for you. But SGS are the guys to go to. Lots of comments still. The new Crafter California has a bulbous roof and looks good. So we'll definitely work on a T5 and make it look unique. Yeah, I look forward to it. Ems is here. The MZ12. Look forward to your vids. Maximus sounds awesome, geez. Yeah, mind blown. Chris Cross sounds awesome. Can't wait to see the YouTube videos. Simon Massey says, love the plan. Can't wait to follow the build. Maximus says, don't forget to smash the likes, peeps. Great chat. Nice to have a cuppa and good night. Have a nice cuppa and good night. Motivate says, thanks. Thank you for what you do, man. Thank you for the help. Lee Packer, looking forward to the vids, especially the bullnose idea. It would be something good to see something different. Yeah, man, this is what it's all about. Function over form, doing something different. Right, we are over the 9 o'clock. Once again, thank you everybody for joining us this evening. It's been a blast. I'm definitely going to stay on YouTube for the live videos. People have already said the quality's better, etc., etc. And it's more engagement as well, and I really, really enjoy that. So I look forward to seeing you next Sunday to begin with for the next live Q&A. Dan's videos are starting to come out very, very soon. Yeah, in the next week or two, Dan's vids are coming out, and then we'll hit on with the T5, which I am, like I said, I'm working on right now, all the parts to the T5. Look, there's a big pile of T5 bits there. And there's a huge pile that's already clean in my van. So yeah, really look forward to that. Thank you very much. Before you leave, there's a little thumbs up at the top of this video. There's 37 of you watching, 40 apparently watching right now. Can you do me all a huge favor if you've enjoyed this vid, if you've had a question answered tonight, can you just give that little video a little thumbs up, please? I'm gonna sit here and wait now. 19, go on, come on peeps, give that little thumbs up a smash. It'll really help me, really help the channel. And yeah, 21, go on. That'll be brilliant if you can all just give that little thing a little thumbs up. Come on, I'm even 3 minutes past my bedtime. Look at this. Thank you so much once again. 27 likes. Guys, you are bloody brilliant. Really look forward to, where is it? You give me the emojis for the thumbs up. That's awesome. Apparently on this video somewhere, there should be a like or a thumbs up button. Click that too. Love you lots, guys. See you next Sunday. Bye-bye. I just got to figure out how to turn it off. Where are we? There?